What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Kaiju Live. Sorry we're a little late. As always, technical difficulties. But without further ado, as I see we've had
Hey everyone.
quite a few people waiting, we are joined by the one and only Sean McGuinness of NeoMonsterIsland. What's going on, Sean, man? How you been?
Hey Sean.
So it's an absolute pleasure for y'all to invite me on here. And if you don't mind, we will eventually get to our signature drink of the night, but Daddy's a little thirsty, so he's going to make himself an Irish mule.
Nice. What we got in there?
Let's see here.
For the folks at home.
Ice, ginger beer. You can use ginger ale at home if you want. I'm going a little bit expensive tonight. I'm going to use some Japanese whiskey. I'm going to make this Irish strength. We're going to do 2 shots. 2 shots of glory. Irish whiskey right in there. I'll bottle that up. And then we're going to add, you know what? I'm feeling really spicy tonight. I'm going to do a full shot of lemon juice. And then the secret sauce to make it a NeoMonsterIsland variation. You do just a splash of ginger liqueur. Ginger is great for settling the stomach. It's great for eliminating free radicals in your system. And we're going to do half a shot of this because, again, Daddy's feeling thirsty tonight. And then we're just going to cap that off. And I'm not even going to stir it. I'm just going to put it on. You can put it in any cup, but I'm using a copper mug because it really helps keep it cooler better. And now the taste test. Oh, that is brisk and delicious.
Ooh, someone pointed out the Japanese whiskey you got there that we were talking about before you went online.
Suntory. This is I got this from my liquor store up the street. Is owned by this great East Indian family, and they just about knew me by name. And I asked them, "Hey, can you get me some Japanese whiskey?" They had it like the next week. Sold it to me for $40. Just a fantastic price. And this is bottled in Japan. From the House of Suntory Whiskey, established 1923. And this is my go-to for when I'm wanting to feel like a little bit more high class, when, Crown Royal just isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, I've one of my buddies had bought me that a couple birthdays ago, and that stuff is pretty good. I am a whiskey drinker myself usually, so that's right up my ballpark.
They actually carry it now just because of me.
Well, that's good. Always good to have a regular.
Any hot chocolate tonight?
You know what? I could do that. If I was to use hot chocolate, I'd do hot chocolate, some Kraken, maybe whiskey instead, and definitely marshmallows because you need that sugar rush.
Absolutely. So do we want to dive right into it, or
you know what? It's your show, man. I'm just here to provide ambiance.
Let's dive into it.
Do it.
So take it away. What do we got here? We have our drinks here, just so you see.
All right.
We're loaded. We're gonna make ours right now. I even got some fancy, nice ice cubes as well. I usually use the plastic ice cubes that you just freeze, but I figured that would be blasphemy for the show. So
you know what?
The real stuff.
Watering down your drinks is not a bad thing, especially with whiskey. You don't want to get that full strength. You want to be able to get that taste and the aroma. So for those of you mixing at home, a standard whiskey glass, any kind of short glass, even like, just a regular household glass, it doesn't really matter. What we're going to do, start with an ice ball. Okay. Now, I'm using some Kraken mini bottles just because these things are just artistic. So we're just going to pour that right over the ice.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm going to do Irish strength once again, and I'm going to do 2 whole mini bottles. All right, because you want that ice to float just a little bit.
We're preparing one for Kelly as well. She'll be down in a bit.
Now you can go to just about any 7-Eleven. And they don't pay too much attention. And you can grab like any of these coffee creamers. All right. Hershey's chocolate caramel.
Grab that one.
Peppermint mocha, Irish cream, Cinnabon, classic cinnamon roll, Cold Stone Creamery sweet cream. You can even, I don't recommend it. Just use half and half. But, that's boring. I like flavor. So if I'm going to do this, we're going to do either Irish cream or peppermint mocha, but Daddy's Irish, so Daddy's going to use some Irish cream in here. All right, so watch this. Pour that right in. Look at that texture. Look at that color. The cloud just rising up to the top. For flavor, you can use 2, but I don't really recommend it. I'm going to get my bar spoon here, and we're just going to swirl it around. See, it's starting to look like coffee
No,
now.
not the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Then don't pour the whole. Pour some in Kelly's. Okay.
All right. So you could stop there, but I'm not a 2-ingredient kind of person. Gotta add like a little something extra. So what you do?
So we don't have any whipped cream, so we're using some good old fashioned Cool Whip.
Oh, dude, I grew up in Cool Whip.
So ours is gonna be as pretty with the mountain, but we're gonna come close.
Now, because no problem. When it goes so high, you may need a straw, and as usual, I keep metal straws because it's better for the environment and it just looks cooler. You can use this to just stick it right in there. If you have some at home, get some sprinkles, and it could be anything, any color, any flavor. You don't need the sprinkles, but I'm going to give this a little taste test right here. What you got right here is an adult milkshake. All right. So you got your rum, your ice, your creamer. Irish cream goes very well with this. You got your whipped topping. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I present to you the Kraken cream.
I came up with UGAC crack, but that sounds a little aggressive.
Hey,
so
you had
everyone,
me at crack.
everyone in the chat, if you have some cool names for this, let's see what we got. But okay, here we go.
Okay,
First,
everyone.
cheers,
Sean,
everybody.
everyone at home.
Slanja.
Let's try this.
Oh God, that's so good.
Damn.
Wow.
I have it
That
all
is
over my
good.
nose and my mustache right now, but it was worth it.
And then afterwards, you got these cool
Man, that's
little
awesome,
bottles.
man.
You just
That was
fill
really
them
good.
with glitter, toss them, whatever. For if you don't have many bottles, then just do 1 to 2 shots of Kraken rum, and you can even use just your regular plastic bottle, Captain Morgan's. All right, we're not fancy here at NeoMonsterIsland, except when Daddy wants to just blow some money on some Japanese whiskey. It's all about proportion. It's all about the taste. There's no wrong way to make it. So submitted for your approval, and it's going to have another one. Slanja, Kraken cream.
This is delicious. I'm getting it all over myself. It's great.
It's probably better for those of us without beards. You know, you got the picture, the older picture. That's
well,
it.
that,
And
I got the
sideburns.
I got the gigantic nose too. So this is just
Yes.
Look at this.
There's obstacles being Italian.
yeah.
And that's why you have the straw.
Exactly.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Brandon. All right. Brandon's
So
got
we
one.
got-
Cool.
Yeah, the Kraken float. I dig it.
Oh yeah, Kraken float. That's
Loomis-
really good
Loomis has
too.
got bourbon.
One of our friends, I think he's in here. Adam, he had just done a review. He got our evil Ujiak chibi figure, and he made his own custom drink.
Give me the Irish. Yeah.
Oh,
I saw that.
I thought you didn't
Yeah,
want
I
it
know.
anymore.
Yeah.
And he made his own drink. I think it was Kraken and then cola, but he did something really cool with the ice cubes that like mimicked his back glow. So we're definitely gonna try to make that one as well. But this is awesome, man. Let's keep the Kaiju Live menu growing. Let's
Yeah. I agree. Like it's ice actually is really important. Like you see me that I'm using these. Granted, I wash my hands beforehand. I've got my giant ice cubes here that would fit in here. You can just use regular ice cubes. It's best if you get like some of the bottled water and pour that into your trays. You're going to get a purer taste. And like I said, pour it over the ice. Let the ice dilute the rum. You're not being a snob. You're not being bourgeois. Look, it's going to enhance the flavor.
So we got how about a GVK drink? We should think of one to celebrate Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm down. We'll have to
Thirsty Thursday toys. All right.
Well, that's the Thirsty Thursday Toys. That's him. Definitely check out his review on YouTube. Thank you so much, man. I think actually we're gonna blast that out tomorrow. Kelly's here. Kelly, you're going to love this. Yes, we're gonna.
Betty, it has whipped cream in it, so yes.
All right, let's see if we can get
No,
Kelly's
it's
live
pretty
reaction.
good.
Let's hear it.
Whew.
It's strong. I didn't play any games. This is legit.
Alright. Nice
But it's good.
working,
It's good
everybody.
though, right?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Did you bring headphones down? Do you want me to?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
But-
That's it, Leslie. Send help.
What?
Intervention.
You know-
Intervention.
In place of whipped cream, a scoop of
I'm a
vanilla
good
ice
dad.
cream.
Trust me.
Ah,
Dude, all right, there's gonna be no auction show tonight, everybody. We're just going to continue to make drinks
For your sake,
for the,
you
for the
probably
next-
hope we have one.
for the next 2 hours. Yeah, the auction show's gonna be great, everybody. Everything starts at $1. But
come on down to Kaiju Live. Everything's $1.
Yeah.
Dollar.
You ever have apple moonshine? I have not. I've only had moonshine once, and that sent me to the moon. But not a lot of my Long Island buddies. That's not really a
Kaiju
common thing
juice.
out here. Oh,
Adam
show
says
me.
kaiju juice.
Can we talk about the berry juice that you had on your table?
Okay,
Oh,
This
check. All right,
is-
we're gonna go full big screen for this. Check out.
I
this.
came up with this, I want to say, about 2 or 3 years ago. It's based off the old rock and rye recipe. Now, it's out of season, so a lot of you are going to have trouble making this, but maybe you know how to make a compote. This is cranberry orange relish, available at Publix only during November and December, and maybe a little bit after January. So if you can make a cranberry orange compote, it works best. But what you do, you get a mason jar, and it doesn't matter the size. The bigger, the better, though. What you do is you fill half of it with cranberry orange relish. The other half you fill up with a Kentucky bourbon whiskey, or you could use Irish, Canadian, Japanese, maybe Scotch. I'm not that well versed in Scotch. But what you do, you fill the rest of it up to the top with that Kentucky bourbon whiskey. I also add in Canton liqueur. You can also add in ginger slices. You can get these usually from Publix or your local Asian grocery. Man, that alcohol is powerful. I'm already starting to slur my words. Then let's see what
Don't
else.
worry, I do that without alcohol, so don't worry about it.
I recommend at least a shot of lime juice. You want that citrus in here. And then what you do, you let it sit. Every couple of hours or so, flip it over. And then flip it over again. If you made it strong enough, the cranberries will bleach white. It is a gorgeous sight. Trust me, that will let you know that it's powerful. And then what you do is you let it sit for at least 24 hours. All right. And then what happens is you got this cranberry, orange, citrus, ginger. Again, ginger eliminates free radicals. Cranberries help with UTIs. Citrus helps your immune system. This is the healthiest alcohol you can drink. Daddy wants some. Hold on a second. God, I am going to be able. I only got 2 stairs to get up into the house, and I may need help doing that. What you have here is a cough syrup that is military industrial grade. It will cure your cough. It'll make you feel better. Any problem that you have, you're going to forget about it. Daddy's going to have a sip. And then, even when you drink all the alcohol is infused into every cranberry in this if you flipped it over enough times. I also recommend doing 100 proof whiskey bourbon if you're going to do this right. But you can do it with just regular Kentucky bourbon. Man, that is strong. That's like my best batch yet. So what you have here is the same juice that Kong drinks in in King Kong versus Godzilla.
Ah, there you go.
See, look, and this particular jar right here, this actually used to house some peaches. So it's got a unique shape to it. I recommend using a mason jar, and this is a good sipping whiskey. You will like when I was furloughed during the pandemic for about 2-3 months, I would sit down in front of my PlayStation and play Fist of the North Star and Lost Paradise, and I would go from about here down to here,
Nice.
and I would feel no pain, and I would know that God loves me, and that Godzilla loves me, and that all's right in the world, and that these times will pass, my friends. Is my southern accent really coming out right now?
A little bit right there. A
Woo!
little right there, just a
All
tad.
But you could literally let this sit. I've got a friend who's had a jar that I gave to him for a year, and he just adds alcohol to it every now and again. And the berries have turned like bleach white. And I gave him a brand new batch. He says it's my best batch yet. You can basically get little mini mason jars, like little small ones about this size.
Mhm.
Give them away at Christmas. Give them away to your best friends. Wow, I am really smashed right now. This is good stuff. But I sent some of this to my in-laws in New York because they weren't having a good time. They were feeling a little ill, and they got this and they said, "Sean, we feel so happy right now. God bless you for this gift you have given us." Man, I'm really smashed right now. I need to
Yeah,
slow
man.
down.
I hope I can get some of that.
Sean's
man.
definitely an aficionado.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I think a lot of people are really digging all the chat here. What else you got, man? What are some more signature drinks that you love? Because
Cotton juice.
Yeah.
That's good. I think.
Well, let's see.
keep it going.
I'm going to announce this. This is the first time I've ever mentioned this
Breaking news.
on my Neo Monster Island page, facebook.com/Neo Monster Island. That's Neo as in the one. Monster Island. I just came up with Starro the Conqueror. What you do is you get a little glass like this, put it in an ice ball, and then you're going to get some of this ginger right here. But what you're going to need is like actual fingers worth of it. Something like this, all right? And then you bend it over the ice, all right? And then you pour, I'm going to say Japanese whiskey. Any whiskey will do, but the Neo Monster Island blend is Japanese whiskey. And you just pour that over the ice and the ginger, and that's Starro the Conqueror from DC Comics.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Starro's a cool character. I love when Starro's used in, especially like the animated series and stuff. He's never really been in the movies, but although has he been in the movies? No.
I used to play HeroClix, and they had this great figure. And actually, God, did I have one? And I probably sold it a long time ago. But I always thought that, that's like a really interesting thing, because what you do is you get like a couple of these fingers, and then you crisscross them over the ice. And if you really want to get crazy, put some red food dye in the ice ball so that it turns red, and it's like that big eyeball that is in all the Starro clones that he sends out.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
The only other drink that I can think of, let's see here, we got the Irish whiskey. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the Go-Go Godzilla. All right, that's this variation right here. It's basically ginger beer or ginger ale. You just pour in something into a copper mug or whatever you're going to drink it out of. 2 shots of whiskey, whether it be Irish, Canadian. I prefer Kentucky bourbon, but I've really been loving this Japanese whiskey. Then what you do is you take your bar spoon. All right,
Mhm.
This is very important. You pour 1 shot's worth of Canton ginger liqueur over the bar spoon and let it spill over into your mixture. Now, you don't just dump it in there. All right, if you pour it over the bar spoon, it reduces the centrifugal force so that it sits on the top. All right, and throw in a couple fingers of crystallized ginger from your Asian food store. So you got your ginger beer, 1 G. You got your ginger from the crystallized ginger, that's 2 Gs. Then you got so the whiskey doesn't count as 1 G. And then you add 1 shot of lime juice. Lime juice is green, that's a 3rd G. That's your Go Godzilla. I'm surprised. I am so plastered right now. I am honestly surprised I was able to get that out. But again, see this little spoon? You pour it over there, and and the ginger liqueur sits on the top.
This should be a weekly segment.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to bring you in as a guest spot every week with the drink of the night.
My goal is to
Brought
get
to
a
you by-
gauntlet, all right, of at least 5 liqueurs that are signature to Neo Monster Island, and then
Nice.
film myself making each one of those. And right now, I'm a little too drunk to name each one of them off the top of my head, but at least with the recipes that I've given you guys, I think I've named 4. I may have a 5th one, but Neo Monster Sunrise. Get yourself a mason jar,
Well,
fill it with
I'm
orange
sorry.
juice.
It's actually
All right.
tasting better now.
And then what you do is you put in some whiskey, whatever it is. Kentucky bourbon works best. 2 shots of that. Then put in some maraschino cherries at the bottom. And what that does, those maraschino cherries causes the orange
Awesome.
to gradiate up to red to create a real sunrise. I made some with 100 proof whiskey of like Kentucky bourbon. I want to say it was Evan Williams. I don't remember anything that happened that day because it was 100 proof, and all I know is that I was really happy.
Got a question from the chat. Anything with screwball?
Screwball. What is that?
I'm not sure what that
That's
Yeah, but
Like a screwdriver? I mean, I've
Yeah, I see screwball and I'm immediately thinking fireball. Rav, help us out. What do we got there?
fireball. Okay, let me let you know about my variation of the what's it called? It is whiskey and tea. God, I really should have started drinking this hard.
No, man, this is great. And we haven't even started talking political toy art yet, so it's gonna get
I
great.
know. My brain is still working. All right.
here comes the senses.
I've actually got some cinnamon soaking in whiskey right now with some hot
Peanut
tamale.
butter whiskey. Ooh.
Ooh, actually, Rav just responded
Rav.
on what screwball is. Apparently, it's a peanut butter whiskey.
See, I can't do that because my son is allergic to peanut butter, and I just don't deal with it. I can only deal with it
Fair
for
enough.
the house. But if I was going to do a peanut butter whiskey, I would do a variation of the Kraken cream because peanut butter seems like it would really work with the sweetness of the rum. Are my words really coming out slurred?
I mean, honestly, to our viewers, it probably sounds. That's how me and Dad. That's mostly how
Yeah,
I talk
they're used
normally.
to us,
so
so don't worry.
yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm from South Carolina, so my lisp does come out more, as well as my southern accent. The more excited that I get. If I was to slow down a lot more, then I would have that Irish brogue going on. But I don't slow down because I'm just really excited when I talk with my hands. Man, I'm going to see this tomorrow on the YouTubes, and I'm going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe my wife let me do this.
So, our good friend Joseph at Daikaiju TV, he says because he's streaming a Gamera marathon right now. Anything else green that you would recommend for a Gamera drink?
You know, okay, what I do here, I consider alcohol alchemy. And I've had someone who wants to commission me to make like a green apple drink because green apple reminds him of his grandmother. So what I would do is like, if you go online, there is a green apple syrup. Okay, citrus works very well with whiskey, rum. Vodka doesn't really have any flavor. You know, that's why screwdrivers are so easy to make. Screwdrivers are actually where I got my start. So if I was to do something green, I would do some green apple syrup, maybe whiskey or rum. And you know what? Get an actual green apple slice. I don't know if you have one of those circles. It's divided up with the center, so you can go right down the green apple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
And
got one of those.
Yeah, you garnish it with a actual green apple. Just plop that right in there so that it absorbs the alcohol. And after you finish your drink, you got this delicious green apple that loves you like only God can. You goes, mom. So you got your apple, you got your fiber because apples are full of fiber. You got your vitamin C, it boosts your immune system. Look, I'm a people person, all right? I want to help people. That's why I got this right here.
I love how you're having healthy alcoholic beverages. It's fantastic.
Look,
Don't just look at the negative stigma of alcohol.
It's a very serious problem.
Yes.
Don't assume that just because I'm Irish that I have an alcohol problem. I know when to stop. All right. It's like I'm in my own house right now. I'm in no danger of driving. I'm not going to go out and Uber tonight. Would you trust
You
yourself
want to mix?
looking at this guy right here, driving up to you going, "Hi, how's it going?" And you're like, "Oh, you know what? He's not even wearing a mask. Delete."
Well, yeah, the days of Uber and stuff like that have really made those kind of decisions pretty easy now. It's like there's no reason, like at all. But anyway, Leslie Chambers says, "What drink would
Hi,
you
Travis,
recommend
that's it.
for Son of Godzilla?"
Okay, so you're going Son of Godzilla. All right. You know, honestly, the Kraken cream was going to be called the weather balloon because don't know if you can see it. This
Oh,
particular
okay, I get it.
it has mountains carved into it. So you look at the end of Son of Godzilla when the weather balloon goes up, it starts snowing everywhere. That's what this was originally going to be called, was the weather balloon. But then who the hell is going to have time to sit there and say, listen to the bartender explain, okay, well, in Son of Godzilla, they send up a weather balloon. No one's going to want to listen to that. So let's hear Son of Godzilla. Honestly, you know what? What I would do is I would soak some whiskey in mango chewy red hots. And I would put some actual mango in that as well. You make it a little bit spicy because remember that the island girl throws some fruit at Minya after he hatches. And I want to say it's like mango. So let's say it would be a mango. And I know I keep going back to whiskey, but I'm Irish. That's my people's heritage. I keep going back to it. You got, let's see here. I would use a Japanese whiskey, some fingers of dried mango, maybe a little bit of mango juice just to cut the sharpness of the alcohol.
Sean's the real
And-
deal.
And
Yeah,
then
I
again,
mean,
there's some chewy red hot. And I'm by no means an expert in alcohol or bartending. I just know I've got a lot of imagination. I've got a lot of energy. And when I focus it, it's going to go wee. I'm going to carry that ball into the end zone, into the parking lot, out to the bar next door. Man, I am really smashed right now. Cannot be. I'm glad I was upstairs putting my young one to bed because I cannot be entrusted to the care of a 6-year-old at this point. Let's get some whipped cream in here.
any good brands of sake that you recommend? Or you're not really a sake guy? I only like sake when I'm at hibachi restaurants where they just basically force you to
Shoot it
take
in your mouth.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, yeah, just keep it coming. Let's go.
Okay, my wife won this in a white elephant gift exchange, and I came out on top because it comes with like these 2 little shot glasses with the name, with the brand. I want to say it's Gekikon or something like that. This is the black and gold. Me and sake have a very complicated history because when I was in college, I knew for a fact that I was going to be at a party where I'd be able to spend the night. And y'all are going to laugh, I consciously made a decision that I was going to push myself to the limit so I would know why I would not want to push the limit. So I had a bottle of sake that was this tall and even fatter than this bottle of Morgan right here. By the time they found me at the toilet, I was sweating alcohol out of my pores, going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But here's the thing, I never crossed that limit again. And they put me onto the bed, they covered me up to make sure I was hydrated, and I lived the next day. That's what happens when you have really good friends. Because I told everyone, hey, look, I want to push my limit tonight. Man, I haven't thought about that night in about 20 years. I don't know if any of your viewers see this. I'm 49. I know I look like I'm in my 20s or 30s. I'm 40 freaking 9. The alcohol may bring it out and such, but God, that was a long time ago. Wow, I haven't thought.
New name for today's show: Alcohol Auctions Anonymous. But all right, let's I know we can talk about drinks all night, but let's get into so let's talk about some of the cool stuff that you also do and sell as well. So
Peel back the onion on Sean here.
If you're I'm made of layers.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with NeoMonsterIsland, he does a lot of political toy art. So how did you like decide like that's what you wanted to do? So I'm going to pull up some images here and stuff like that. Because while a lot of people might not agree, most Godzilla movies do always have a political message of some sort. So take it away. Where'd you get the inspiration to start doing this, and how did it become a passion of yours, man?
Well, I guess we need to go back to the beginning of how it got started. My mom passed of cancer way back in 2000. And when I was settled and done, I had this big hole in my life, and I decided to fill it with kaiju toys. So I started going on eBay and spending my inheritance like an idiot on kaiju vinyl figures. And at that time, I was following a magazine called called Toy Fair Magazine, and they had a regular feature called Twisted Toy Fair Theater. And because I'm an attention whore, I said, hey, you know what? I can do that, but with Godzilla toys. And I started Twisted Kaiju Theater way back in August 11th of 2000. And it ran for, let's be generous and say 17 years, sometimes 3 updates a week. I think I finished somewhere around 2,000 comics. I'd have to look in my archive. And what I would do is started out as basically South Park humor. Kaiju figures kicking each other in the balls. Some basically South Park style humor. Not really fit for public consumption. I mean, the main story or the main running gag was that King Ghidorah would poop those little lemon sour candies that came with the capsule figures, in those little yellow bags.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was not a highbrow comic, but as the years grew on, I actually started learning how to write better. And while it's still very a juvenile story and very Gary Stewish, very author insertion, I wouldn't have a son today if it weren't for Godzilla. All right, because I got invited to a convention in New York. And I mean, all expenses paid with me and my best friend, Howard Williams, God rest his soul. And there I met my future wife. And she saw what I was doing, and we dated long distance for 2 years. And she said, Sean, you're wasting your time with this webcomic stuff. You could be doing actual art. And I thought she was crazy. Who wants to pay for Godzilla art? All right, look, I didn't know at the time. So what I did is I took a lithograph of the burning of Columbia in 1865. It was published in Harper's Weekly, which was a Northern propaganda magazine. And I threw Godzilla into it. And I didn't really think anything of it. I just put it out there into the world. 6 months later, I'm in the Columbia Museum of Art, a nationally recognized museum. And my artwork is in a Artist of the Year competition. And it sells that night to a couple. And that's when I realized that Columbia, South Carolina, my home city, it's starved for something different. And I wouldn't have that if it weren't for my wife pushing me beyond just South Park style, juvenile, edgelord humor. So I started doing more stuff where I'd combine Godzilla with Civil War lithographs, French Impressionism, World War II propaganda, Japanese woodblocks, just pictures of Columbia, South Carolina, and just throwing it in there. And then I would, I railed against the Bush administration. I actually had Bush as a character in my webcomic where I'd put his head on top of an Ash Williams figure with the chainsaw hand and the shotgun. Don't look up the old comics, because not only did I take them down because they were very edgelordy, very punched downward, it was just not what I wanted to represent me. So I took them down like about maybe 2015, 2017, and I started focusing on this artwork. So my artwork's going all around the world: Canada, Japan, France, Australia, all around these great United States. And I live in the heart of the Confederacy. I am of Confederate ancestry. I have 1 foot in the past in the Civil War. I have 1 foot in the present, where we have racial strife, where we have Black Lives Matter, where I have these damned neo-Nazis threatening to set me on fire, threatening to kill me because I show up at the State House and interrupt their little Confederate pride marches. And I have no problem inserting myself into there to say, hey, look, there's one white guy who doesn't put up with your BS. So while it has been a hindrance to me, because people don't really want to talk about politics with Godzilla. I mean, you go back, yes, Godzilla is the atomic bomb. That's well known.
That's one of the most, if I was ever to say there was always someone on every Facebook group I've ever been a part of, there's always that one comment of
no politics.
No politics in Godzilla. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. How many movies have you seen? Because I mean, I'd say easily like 70% of them, for the most part. I mean, even Kelly wants another. Even the childish ones, or more kid-friendly ones, like they all have a message. Like Godzilla's Revenge is all about bullying, and like there's always a message in every Godzilla film, whether you acknowledge it or not. And that's one of the great reasons why I love Godzilla. Like, because of course I love to see Godzilla, guys in costumes beating each other in a giant model city or something. There's also layers to it. It's not just at face value.
And I get why someone would want to come to a Godzilla fan page and just get away from that. Look, I get it. Godzilla is safe. Your childhood is growing up in your parents' arms as you're sitting there on Channel 5 watching the ABC presentation of a dubbed Godzilla movie. Look, I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't come at me, because I want to remind people that Godzilla does not have armored skin. He is covered in keloid scars, which are modeled after the Hiroshima victims. And I get that. I get that you don't want to see me having Godzilla kicking Trump's ass, because it really doesn't have anything to do with that. Godzilla is anti-capitalism, anti-nationalism, anti-pollution. I mean, you understand, I got my start on Godzilla versus Hedorah. I went into Dutch Square Theater as a little kid who was born in 1972. And I can't tell you how old I was, but I'm sitting there in this theater. And when Hedorah is in his flying form coming over to the school and he's poisoning those kids, at that moment, that Hedorah, the film burned up. And all the kids are kicking the back of the seats going, woo! I'm going, this is the greatest 3D experience I've ever seen in my life. I'm not wearing glasses. Hedorah is going to come out of the screen and he's going to poison us all. You can't have something that strong hit a child that young and not have it affect him for life. I grew up on the Marvel Comics Godzilla. I didn't even know about the atomic implications of Godzilla till much later in life. It was around maybe even 2005 before I even watched the first 1954 movie in its entirety. Because when I grew up, you got to understand, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have VHS tapes. It was on network television or it was nothing. I still remember going to Texas to go to conventions like, why is this Godzilla orange? Oh, this is the one where his heart goes into a nuclear meltdown and he dies. So I bought a unsubtitled, undubbed VHS tape, bootleg, of course, because you got to understand, this is all that we had back then. And I drove all the way back to South Carolina and I watched it, curled up on a couch, just hung over from 15 hours of driving, watching this in awe, and I don't understand what's going on. And we have to go on the internet, which was back then really primitive, to find out what was going on. We had to download the scripts so we could understand what was going on the screen. And again, I go back to my mom's passing. She's the one she was very artistic. She would hand carve an entire Lord of the Rings chess set and a chess table that would match that chess set. I'm the only one who owns that. And while she passed, she never got to see me become that artist. So I'm just not satisfied anymore with being this South Park guy who's really edgelord humor and, just wanting attention. Look, I recognize that I benefit from this right here. I recognize that we have a struggle going on. I'm going to use my privilege and my voice and these skills that God gave me, and I'm going to do political art where I've got Godzilla kicking Trump's butt and talking about Black Lives Matter, and it loses me fans. People say, oh, I didn't know you were that type. I've been like this for 20 years. unfollow. Oh, I'm sorry, but this is an airport terminal. You don't have to announce your departure. I don't need you. There are
Yeah.
Godzilla artists out there right now who have comic book contracts, toy contracts, movie contracts. They can't really say what they want to because the people, oh, we don't want you to be political. You can't do anything to me. You don't know where I work. You can't affect my job. You can't affect where I go to conventions. You can't affect what I do. I'm free. I'm the most dangerous person on the planet as an artist because I travel in circles like other artists where I can be at home on a street corner selling my art and then enjoying fine cocktails at the top of a skyrise with all these other people and fine clothing and it's Columbia. You know, I've had 21 pieces in the Columbia Museum of Art. My mom never even got in there once. She was geek long before all this Marvel comics and DC stuff really became mainstream culture.
Mhm.
She was doing Star Wars ceramics and Lord of the Rings ceramics. And here I am following in those footsteps. I stand on the shoulders of giants, people who came before me, like Matt Frank and you guys who are out there carrying Godzilla's message. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for people like you. And I want to influence the fans that come after me and who will replace me.
Well, thank you
Little
so much
Last
for
Jedi
saying that,
knowledge.
man. We always just think we're small town. We never acknowledge that we're anything more than just two wacky guys that do an auction show. So thank you
Tell
so
me right
much.
now, okay, what you're doing is art. All of this is art. Everything that you do, something that you are doing right now, and I want to speak to all the viewers out there. There is something that you are doing that is affecting someone else, that is helping them get through the day, that is relieving their tension, relieving their stress. What Kaiju Live does is making Sunday nights just a little bit better, a little bit more bearable in times such as these. And you've given me a platform, and granted, this is the alcohol talking 100%, but this is also coming from the heart right here. See this? I mean, it says soul in reverse on my camera, so I don't know if you guys can see this.
No, it's fine
So
on our
this is
end.
art, all right? It's all art. You say you can't draw a stick figure. What can you do? Don't tell me about what you can't do. What Kaiju Live is doing is making these people who are joining us here tonight, it's making their lives better. It's making my life better because I'm getting to share this talent that I never knew that I had. Yep, that went down. And letting me know that, hey, there are people listening. And yeah, I'm going to make people angry. People are going to have this idea that I'm a hammer, that I'm a social justice warrior. Dude, I'm a social justice bard. All right. I don't just go out and fight. I go out and sing. I create art. I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. That definitely was the alcohol talking because I cannot sing.
So with your artwork, it's a lot of like composite shots. So versed in like Photoshop and all that. Like how long does it usually take you? Like for instance, this Mothra piece. Like,
Hmm.
what's the amount of time going into this?
This is going to shock you. Sometimes a piece can take me 24 hours to build. That one right there, 30 minutes. And I'm going to tell you,
Nice.
25 of those minutes went into blending Mothra behind the tree on her left flank.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is a crap. I wish I hadn't drank so much alcohol. I could name the figure. It's not SH Monster Arts, but it's a Mothra toy.
The Reveltech?
Reveltech, yes.
Reveltech?
Okay. That is a Reveltech Mothra inversed. And then I took pieces of the painting and put it into the wings to cover it up. And then the moon is put into each one of the eyes. That is a year one piece. And you're going to think, okay, that's something the girls buy. No. It is a 50% gender split. Guys buy it. Girls buy it.
I mean, I used it in my splash page. I was attracted to this one as well.
I mean,
Starry
but
Night.
the entirety of the picture is Van Gogh, and I'm not going to try and do the Van Gogh. All right, look, I saw the Doctor Who episode 2. Yes, look, I'm just going to call him Van Gogh. I did that year one, and it is one of my most popular pieces. It made it into the Columbia Museum of Art for a fundraiser. It went home to a good family. That one, honestly, it took 30 minutes. But then I'll do something where I'll have to pay a pro-Confederacy website for the rights to use a lithograph of the attack at Fort Sumter, and then I'll throw Mechagodzilla into it, and then because there's reverse newsprint on the picture, because when you scan newsprint, it's going to be on the image, then I got to add that and something like that. It took me 24 hours to build, but you know what? It was worth it, because not only did, unfortunately, that Pro-Confederacy website get that money, I have earned well over $2,000 from that print in various art sales, and I use my internet infamy to fight pro-Confederacy websites, neo-Nazis, secessionists, black diamonds, 3%ers, 1%ers. That's why I get so many death threats.
How are there so many different names of that shit?
All right.
It's wild. No, I don't want to get into it. I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Right.
Let's keep it Godzilla political-ish.
Like, right now you're showing a Southern Living picture. That one I'm really proud of. That one went to a Art Fields 2017 in Lake City, South Carolina. They have a yearly art competition, and man, it went on to earn me like $300, and it was
Nice.
worth all the blood, sweat, and tears that I put into it. I put a lot of politics into Godzilla because I cannot forget that he's born of three flashes of light: Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Castle Bravo. I can't forget that he's billions of dollars in a nuclear arms race of mutually assured destruction, and yet he's also the Highland Fling, the Tail Slide,
the Burger King of monsters.
Burger King of the monsters. He can be all those things. While Godzilla on My Mind is not that great of a book, I will never forget, Godzilla is a malleable metaphor. You ask 100 different people what Godzilla means to them, you'll get 100 different answers. And some of those answers will be, I don't care, or Godzilla's responsible for the birth of my son. I couldn't do what I do right now with G.I. Joe, My Little Pony. And that's not dissing those fans. This is a worldwide icon of political significance. He's reborn in our national consciousness with the Monsterverse. And yeah, his political nuclear allegory is diluted in these movies, but that's a gateway drug. People are going to say, wow, this was really great. Let's go back and look at these older movies. Oh my God, we're going, don't worry, children. We're going to meet your father again, as the mother huddles around her kids. They're going to get that message. It's going to create new fans.
I found this one to be really interesting because this is like the Polish poster, I believe, of Godzilla vs. Hedorah,
Yes.
but you basically made Hedorah the coronavirus. Am I reading this right?
Absolutely, because first of all, again, Hedorah is, I'm not going to lie, second to Godzilla, my favorite monster. All right. And so I wanted to take that passion. And I did this when I was furloughed, just try to keep myself sane. So I threw him all over with the coronavirus. And if you even look where Godzilla's eye is supposed to be, is yet another coronavirus. So I wanted this optical illusion on top of everything, along with all this negative white space. And then you notice the Toho logo incorporated into the legendary logo. Mm-hmm. And then in each creature lies a weakness. A great quote from that particular movie. Well, in humans lies a weakness, how we turn on each other, how we spread misinformation, how we are susceptible to lies. In coronavirus is a weakness, us banding together, creating the antivirus, the ability for humans to overcome their nature and help each other. We are an interesting race, us humans, and we're horrible, but we're beautiful at the same time. Daddy needs another sip. It's good stuff.
I love this one.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Like, my wife challenged me on this. She wanted me to do.
It's like Stranger Things, right? Is that
not only the Stranger Things, that is the Netflix logo blowing. Like when you hear the da-dum, and then the Netflix logo goes ba 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 ba. That is a screenshot of the Netflix logo separating into colors behind the Godzilla Rebirth '84. So I figured, Stranger Things set in the '80s. Let me do this. I literally stopped watching the second season of Stranger Things to create this piece of artwork because I was so inspired by it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, I forgot to bring this up. So, our good buddy Michael Hamilton, who also has the new magazine coming out, Kaiju Ramen. You did the cover art, which I unfortunately don't have on me, which is ridiculous, but I don't have it.
I should have
But
sent it to you.
I might have it somewhere. I have to have it somewhere. Maybe I'll try to pull it up. So how did that whole thing go down? They approached you. Did you reach out to them, hear about the project?
They approached me, and because they wanted to create out of, without naming names, some controversial actions taken within the Godzilla community. And they said, we want an alternative. We want to create a magazine that is positive. And I said, are you sure you want me on board? Because I'm pretty negative. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I am not a surgical tool. I am a hammer. And they said, yes, we want to go on there. So again, this was maybe around the same time that I was still furloughed and just had all this energy and time to just throw out into the universe. And so I took the NECA Godzilla figure that I had custom colored, where it was before they came up with the American colors with the green and the purple spines. Mine has the yellow spines on it, created by an artist by the name of Ray Fromm. And I took a picture of that, and I wanted it to look like he's stepping on the viewer. And then I put like a parchment image behind him so that they could throw their text on top of it, and through like some bloody red stripes, so that it really captures the imagination, or captures your attention, because red just grabs you. And while I didn't have any articles in there or anything, the fact that I was published, this is the first time I've actually been published in a magazine, and I'm still waiting for my copy to come in. I'm sure that with coronavirus and the mail being slowed down, it'll arrive any day. But I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to frame it right here in this gallery right here in an actual frame. Say, look at this. Someone thought that what I did was awesome, and they wanted it to be the introduction to the positivity that they put in this magazine. I'm all for it. Let me try and help. Let me use a scalpel instead of a hammer to try and help our Godzilla community to create positivity. And I'm really excited about what Kaiju Ramen is doing. Even if I don't create artwork for the second magazine, even if I don't create an article or anything for it, the fact that we're pushing forward, or that we're pushing against the negativity that is poisoning our community.
Yeah, I actually am also waiting for I got the physical copy, so I definitely can't wait for that. And I believe issue 2 is definitely happening, and I hope it continues. But that's awesome, man. I cannot find this picture. I'm trying to find it. But if you don't know what Kaiju Ramen is, everybody, definitely check it out, or check out our live chat with Michael Hamilton a couple of months ago. I'm kind of too drunk as well to remember, but but yeah, congrats on that, man. That's an awesome project.
Definitely. That's
really excited for Mike and those guys to get that off the ground, because I agree. I think we do need it. I think I think it's time for something new. Oh, that's the
yeah. Look,
that's my political answer.
This is what Legendary is doing. It's bringing new fans in, and yes, I like I said, Legendary has diluted the atomic allegory that Godzilla is, but without new fans, our genre is going to die. And like they said in Last Jedi, they are what will replace us. And I mean, I take that to heart. That's like a religious quote to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I do like, that is one of my gripes with King of the Monsters. Is it's definitely looked at through the eyes of Americans. Just the fact that they were like, hey, let's throw a nuke on them to make them, souped up. It's like, okay.
Really? But let's think about that. X-Men, they get their powers from the sun. dump yourself in radioactive waste and you become a superhero. Why is that an American thing? And in
Yeah.
Japan, nuclear is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It really
wonder.
becomes clear, doesn't it?
Yeah. So like there are like I still enjoy the movie for what it is. I love the representation of the monsters themselves, their characterizations. They did an amazing job with that. I still think Kong Skull Island right now is the best MonsterVerse movie, like
Absolutely.
all together, between just the way the characters, the movie itself, the pacing, like all that stuff is just, not everyone's there to just tell you what's happening and just the exposition character.
Look, you
But
don't
I'm
understand.
super excited for Godzilla vs Kong. Godzilla
Oh,
vs Kong looks, that trailer, like, one of my friends actually asked me to do this, and I was like, well, I want to do it after the movie because it's a lot of content to do. But basically, go back and like do a live reaction to every Godzilla trailer that's ever been released, all the way up to Godzilla vs Kong, just to like be like, wow, just to see the different trailer styles all through the decades, which I think would be really cool to go back and look at. But Godzilla vs Kong is one of the best monster trailers I have ever seen in terms of delivering exactly what you wanted to see and like getting everyone excited. The fact that that trailer has more views than by almost threefold, fourfold than King of the Monsters.
Probably more
says
views in the Bible.
Says it all, man. I really think general audiences are definitely in this time. I think they want to see Godzilla as a bad guy, which he's depicted in the trailer as. And then, we all a lot of people laugh at Kong. He's just a giant monkey, but Kong is going to be putting a lot of people in those seats, man. Kong is the American monster for sure.
Here's the thing I noticed. That axe that he carries, all right, it's not just a piece of wood with a Godzilla fin inside of it. It's got a strap holding that fin into the piece of wood. So first of all, there's a piece of wood that's big enough to hold the fin.
I don't think it's wood. I think it's a skeleton bone of something.
Okay, well, let's look at that. What leather exists in that quantity? Could it be Dagon skin? Could it be Godzilla skin from a previous Godzilla? What leather exists in that quantity to wrap around the fin to put in that giant bone? I just was thinking about that today, and I wasn't even drunk then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's a skull crawler or something.
Yeah, maybe it's or
that too.
Or those giant like snake, I don't know, wing creatures. Maybe that's their wings.
Whatever they're calling that, the war bats.
I don't know. Is that the war bat or is the other one the war bat? I'm not well versed in the names of all these guys just yet.
Look, here's the thing. We've got
mustache and dirty.
We're in a new renaissance of kaiju fandom. All right, we're getting basically the Marvel universe spread across different movies. We got Cloverfield 2, which I'm not all that on board for, but hey, somebody likes Cloverfield. We got Kong versus Godzilla. We've got all this amazing stuff happening. Isn't it great? Because what else has lasted this long?
Yeah,
Marvel. Yeah, but it's only
Godzilla
recent.
is the James Bond of cinema, essentially. What other character has that many iterations over time? It's the only thing I can even I can compare him to movie wise. Like obviously TV show wise, you have like Doctor Who and Star Trek and all that stuff. But movie wise, yeah, it's James Bond is really the only with the same amount of quality, and the actor changes all the time too, just like the suit changes. So it's like kind of the same thing.
I would say that the MonsterVerse is basically the modern retelling of stuff like versus Megalon versus Gigon, where it's the pro monster wrestling. It's the, hey, we're going to have fun. It's not going to be as serious. We are going to have gravitas. Like, I will praise Gareth Edwards to the moon and back for what he did with 2014. I saw that a week before the rest of the world at Fort Jackson with 400 in-uniform soldiers. And everybody's quiet, all right? And then it gets to the scene where Ford looks off screen and his face is kind of colored blue. You hear that, wom, 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 wom. And we're going, do it, Do it. And
Sick.
Godzilla breathes that breath weapon. 400 soldiers, male, female, black, white, Asian, all stand up and start screaming, punching the air, kicking, and just, I'm weeping at that point, openly weeping. And my wife tells me, who is pregnant with our son, I feel him kicking during this moment.
That was.
You will never, ever be able to take that movie away from me. That feeling that I had. Yes, the movie has problems in pacing, and I don't care.
Yeah.
That movie is what I took my son to see before he was even born. It is literally
You tell the
God
story.
to me, that feeling. And that's not the alcohol talking. That is my heart talking right now. This
Wow,
will be
that's
alcohol
awesome.
talking.
No, you don't want to tell the story?
Hmm?
You don't want to.
You can tell it.
I'll tell it. All right. Well,
I don't remember.
Well, apparently the story that I
Abby
was
says,
told.
I don't know.
The story that I was told was very similar to that. Was
In 84.
84, my dad and mom saw 84 and the same thing. I kicked during that movie. So that's a really fun parallel. Same thing, man. That scene for me, I saw that movie 5 times in the theater. And my favorite thing every single time was seeing all the younger kids in the audience all get so excited when that happened. Like, for me, it was just like, I felt like a little kid again, just watching, like, seeing all these other younger fans, like, just be excited. And yeah, same thing. Like, I like the slow burn. I like the Jaws approach. I really appreciated it. While I didn't agree with Bryan Cranston characters getting killed so fast, I thought that was a really silly mistake. That guy could have literally been carrying the franchise. I don't know why you would do that. Like, especially at the height of his popularity coming off of Breaking Bad.
Exactly.
It didn't make any sense that that's the dude you kill. But whatever. It is what it is. We're going into the 4th movie now, so. But, all right, man. We actually are about to, we got to take a little intermission to get ready for the auction show. But before we let you go, man, got anything coming up that you want to promote? Any final words you want to say? Thank you so much for joining us.
Against my better judgment, I'm going to be going to SC Comic Con in Greenville in about 2 months. It's going to be a very COVID-friendly, well, not COVID-friendly, but COVID-prepared event. I'm going to be continuing my new reiteration of Twisted Kaiju Theater. My goal is to do it every Monday. I'm not going to be doing it tomorrow because I wanted to spend time with you guys, and I'm going to be way too drunk to operate Photoshop right now. If you want to see whatever is going on in the Neo Monster universe, Facebook.com/NeoMonsterIsland or NeoMonsterIsland.com has my gallery, links to my shop. We're going to be updating it soon. I've hired a professional to try and handle some of the heavy lifting. But basically, the Facebook page is where you can actually see the more recent stuff, the weekly webcomic. I'm just going to keep on pushing. I'm 49. I'm finding new life. You are never too old to learn something new. You are never too old to help your brother, to fight the good fight. And I just want to encourage all the fine folks watching this channel. You're already doing the right thing. I want you to know that I don't even know you, but I love each and every one of you. And I want to see each of you fly. And I want to see each of you be more successful than I am. And that includes Kaiju Live.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sean.
Unbelievable.
You were a great guest. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to
fascinating.
we're gonna have to have you on more often. This has been fantastic. Not even just the drinking part. The drinking part is just the icing on the cake. So to speak.
I don't know. The drinking part was a lot of fun.
Well, yes, of course, but
I have a hard time making up these 2 stairs to the house.
But thank you so much for taking the time, man. Really appreciate this.
Thank you.
Peace and
I
love,
appreciate
man.
being your
Great
guest.
night.
You too,
All right,
sir.
everybody. We'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. We're going to go take a little intermission, little bathroom break. Try to sober up if that's even possible. All right, everybody. See you in a bit. Where's
Sean, we'll catch you at a convention.
I don't even know what
Absolutely,
this
sir.
outro is anymore. Where is it? There it is.
泣くな僕らも頑張